Hello, everybody. Welcome to Class 18. Today we're going to be talking about esports, a very interesting topic.
Three, two, one. Clash Royale. Overview of Clash Royale. You build a deck of cards. Each card has an elixir cost. When you fight an opponent with your deck, you need elixir to play the cards. Elixir regenerates over time. The goal is to get more crowns than the opponent by the end of the game. You get crowns by destroying the enemy towers. That game ends immediately if either player's crown tower is destroyed. The enemy has one princess towers and one crown tower. Play cards to destroy the enemy towers while the opponent plays their own cards to stop you, and vice versa. There are basically no rules except no cheating. That means no mods to change the game itself, no illegal programs, of course. If you're caught cheating, you'll be penalized.
3, 2, 1. Fortnite. What is Fortnite? Fortnite is a survival game where 100 players fight against each other in player versus player combat to the last one standing. Fortnite is fast-paced, action-packed games. There are an estimate 125 million players on Fortnite. You can play Fortnite on Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch. You can play Fortnite on Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, PC, and mobile. Some of most successful content creators almost tend to play Fortnite at a competitive level, such as Ninja or Cypher PK. You can also buy skins, gun wraps, emotes for your characters in game. Modes in Fortnite. Battle Royale. 100 players fight on a map until one person wins. Party Royale. Party Royale is a space in Fortnite where you and your friends can play mini games, attend concerts, movies, and more. Creative mode in Fortnite allows you to freely create anything on your own creative island, such as cars or plants. Save the World. Fortnite Save the World is an epic PvE action building game. You can build huge forts, find loot, level up your heroes, and battle zombies. Okay, so some tournaments include Salty Spring Cup, Tomato Temple Cup, Salty Spring, and more. The most money you can win in a Fortnite tournament is $3 million. Some of the most largest competitions, such as the Fortnite Summer Scrimmage, has the prize pool totaling $8 million.
Hello, and my name is Jason, and I'm going to be presenting the esport game, other known as Valorant. All right, let's get down to the basics. What is Valorant? Valorant is a tactical first-person shooter consisting of multiple rounds between a team of 5 players between 2 teams, and these 2 teams will then battle it out over a map on attack or defense. You and your team will then begin with your certain agent of which you have chosen, and from there you will then go on to go attack certain sites or defend certain sites of which you have chosen. Valorant is a game of which relies heavily and revolves heavily on precision and skill. Okay, precision and skill. What is it? In Valorant, it is mainly about precision and skill, as I have already mentioned. However, the reason why it is very reliant on these factors is that's because the way the game is played. In the game, you have something called buy rounds, and you have rounds basically. And in these rounds, you will then buy equipment and you will then use your equipment. And how that works into precision and skill is how I'll get into that later. In Valorant, there's 2 modes of mobility. Generally speaking, there is the general run mode and there's a walking mode. The reason why precision and skill both take a very high a very high position in Valorant is that's because when you're playing the game, what happens is you have to both be able to react quickly to situations as they change, and you have to have good aim. Games like Valorant, such as CS:GO, rely very heavily on aim in that the guns in the game are very lethal to anybody who gets hit by them. Guns can usually sometimes they can one shot you, sometimes they can even, some of the weaker guns can even almost two shot you, even with the most amount of armor and health of which you can get. That is why precision and skill is so important in Valorant, because without precision and skill, anybody can basically defeat you with even one of the weakest weapons in the game. And this game very highly relies on good aim, good tracking, and especially headshotting people, considering that headshots do a significantly more amount of damage than a normal body shot or leg shot will. In the game, you first start off in the first round. In the first round, you have 800 credits, and you start out with a classic pistol. This pistol is generally one of the weakest weapons in the game and has basically one of the lowest clip sizes, one of the lowest damage and penetration rates of all the guns. And from there, you can buy guns, other pistols, of which do a myriad of different things, other rifles, machine guns, snipers, shotguns, and SMGs. You can also buy armors to beef yourself up. And once you have bought all those things with the credits of which you have gotten throughout the game, you can then go on to fight. When fighting, it is what Valorant mainly rotates around is, as I've already mentioned, skill and precision. The reason why it rotates around these topics is that's because in Valorant, information is a very key aspect to the game. And the reason why information is so important is that's because if I didn't have the information to know where are they going, where's the enemy going, or where the enemy are, it is basically extremely detrimental to me, considering that then there's a lot of open spaces of which I have to then start looking at in order to figure out where are they coming from. Are they coming from left or right? Which way do I look? Do I look that way? Do I look this way? And the reason why that's important is that's because whoever shoots the first bullet, or at least basically whoever shoots the first bullet is usually the person to win, unless if the person who shoots the first bullet sucks at the game. So that is why information is key and why skill is key in these sort of games. What sets Valorant apart from other games such as CS:GO and games of the like is because it has something called agents. These agents are specific to themselves and are different from the rest of the other lineup of agents. Each individual agent has three specific abilities of which they can buy and an ultimate ability of which they can charge up, making them have basically 4 abilities. And these agents differ in the roles of which they have been basically structured around. So each agent isn't really like an all-rounder. Every sort of agent has its own like specific niche category of which it fits into. The main specific niche categories of which are in the game are controller, duelist, uh, initiators, and pretty sure something like intel gatherers. And basically, these 4 categories are what make up the game. Every single ability of which they have gives them basically gives them a higher or lower pick rate in who chooses them, who doesn't. That's because, for example, duelists are usually self-sufficient agents, really good at basically going off by themselves, doing what they do best, which is killing the enemy team, and basically picking 1v1 fights. That is how duelists work. Controllers are more of they're good at defense and offense. but usually more defense oriented, because how controllers work is that they will usually block off lines of sight. So, for example, they might set up smoke screens in areas. They might set up walls of smoke in other areas. Basically, controllers are there to, well, control an area. And if a controller is on a site, usually that's how they would like maybe like block off certain sight lines, and then they will maybe defend or push in with their team. That they are very useful at doing that. You then also have initiators, people who are really good at starting the fight and getting it going. So, for example, they're usually good at getting usually that first pick, or they're really good at just kind of like sneaking around, or maybe like getting into position, getting ready to get a good advantage. Finally, you have sort of like the information gatherers. These guys, they have the ability to basically um, find people and basically trying to locate where they are on the map. As I've already mentioned, information is a key point of this game, and with these sort of agents, they have a they give their team an upper hand in figuring out where the enemy team are. And yeah, those are basically the general agents. However, as I've already mentioned, every single agent has their own sort of abilities, and these abilities are generally centered around what kind of category they have been placed into. And so, with these abilities, you have just a general myriad of which are available to every single agent. You have abilities of which give characters stealth, abilities which lock down certain areas, abilities of which can block sight of certain areas, abilities of which can be used to teleport. There are so many abilities and so many different things of which can be done in the game. And that is also one of the main reasons why Valorant is different from other games, because the way that the game is played is much different than other games. Let's move on to esports. In esports, Valorant is very popular. The reason why Valorant is very popular in its esport category is that's because the esports of which the gameplay of which it has is very skill oriented, which is very attractive to competitive people, and in general it has now created a very competitive player base. Usually a lot of the players are very serious in how they play, and that reflects in the pro teams and the gameplay of which has come about in this game. The top players of the game are usually extremely fast action, very fast at reacting to anything of which pops up, very good at just flicking to walls, corners, enemies' heads, and basically taking them out. These players are extremely good at making decisions and are extremely talented in the way of which they work. They are good at just moving around the map, ensuring that they clear a site completely, get control of it, and be able to lock it down. These teams, for example, Cloud9, 100 Thieves, Immortals, and many more, such as maybe TI and TSM, all of these teams, they are extremely popular and are also extremely talented in their team members, in that their teamwork and the way that they play is extremely how should I put this? They are extremely talented. They are extremely efficient, and they are extremely um, how should I put this? They are extremely talented and they're extremely efficient in the way that they play, because the way that they play is that, for example, they usually have one person doing one thing, one person holding down a site, one person flanking, one person making sure that this angle is covered, making one person making sure the other angle is covered. Teams like these are extremely efficient in how they play the game and have been able to master the basics and the advanced features of Valorant to where they know the ins and outs of the game. And at the most high level of play, usually it's the faster reaction times of which gets you the win. And basic and that is how it has been throughout most of the Valorant competitive leagues. There have been some tournaments about it. I even have a picture to show you down there. That is a FaZe Clan tournament. And these Valorant games are extremely high action, high skill, and extremely fun to both watch and play.
League of Legends. So what is League of Legends? It's a 5v5 game featuring over 155 champions, and they all have like unique abilities and backstories. It's a very popular esports game, and the map, it's the picture to the right. So there are like 3 roads, also known as lanes, and you the goal of the game is to destroy the nexus, which is at like the top right and the top bottom left. And there to destroy it, there are towers that block you from being able to destroying it. And so waves of minions will spawn, and you're supposed to like kill the minions and stuff to like buy items and stuff to like beat the game, win. And there's like also neutral objectives, which are next to the river. If you can see like the 2 cave looking places. And they give you like buffs that like make it easier to win. League requires a lot of teamwork and communication, and there's 5 roles. Top, which is the top lane, which is the top road place. Mid, and then jungle is the places between the roads where monsters spawn and you can kill them to get stuff. ADC is the bot lane, and support is also the bot lane. So some stats about the game. There are 103 million monthly active players in League, and it's like one of the biggest games. And it's popular all over the world, and it's especially popular in Asia. And there are many tournaments, with the biggest one being the World Championships, which has a prize pool of over 2 million, and every year teams all over the world like compete to win the thing.
So the next sport to be presented is Call of Duty. So the overview of Call of Duty. This game is a first-person shooter game, which means that the player is going to be shooting at the enemy. So originally, this game was made with the storyline with you playing with a bunch of other NPCs, which is computer operated characters. Some storylines are World War II, Cold War, and other futuristic worlds, which this game is set in. And your goal is to basically win and reach the end of the storyline that the game developers have created. This game is mainly on Windows OS, although some games are available on Mac OS. Although it's not recommended to play on Mac since this game needs a pretty good graphics card to operate, and Macs don't really have that good of operating system or graphics cards. Sorry. So for competition, in each league, there are 12 teams in total, and each team is required to have at least 7 players and no more of 10 players. And during the league, teams are scheduled to play matches against other teams, and each match is played in a best of 5, meaning out of 5 games, one team only has to win at least 3 games to win. So in each league, there are different modes in each match. So one of the modes is search and destroy, where one team is the bomb team. The bomb team tries to plant a bomb in the enemy team, any enemy team's area, and the second team, which is the elimination team, I guess, tries to defuse the bomb before the timer goes off. If the timer goes off, then the bomb team wins. But if the second team, the elimination team, is able to defuse it before the timer goes off, then they win. This mode is played in multiple rounds, as said before, in best of 5. The second mode is hardpoint. This mode has a rotational control point, meaning that the control point that each team tries to maintain control of moves from place to place in the map. How team earn points from this is as they control for a longer period of time, points are awarded to that point, to the team that's maintaining control. This mode is different from the search and destroy, since um, the judges will set a point limit, and when the point limit is reached, that team wins. So first to, like, let's say 10 points wins the round. So the last match mode is domination. This is similar to uh, the previous match mode, but this has 30 permanent control points instead of one rotating control point. Uh, as like the other one, points are awarded to points for however long they're able to maintain it. So if they're able to maintain it for longer, points are awarded to that point. And at the age of each round, the team with the higher points wins each round, and this is a best of 5. So the team that wins 3 rounds wins that match. So for the 2020 season, it was split into 2 parts evenly. So half the team is playing spring, half the other half playing summer. So pre-playoffs, each team is required to host a weekend-style tournament game. And for the top 8 teams who score the highest amount of points in the season, they advance to the playoffs. So during the playoffs, the prize pool is about 6 million USD, which is a pretty big prize pool, with 50% required to go to players, at least. So for stage setup, the Activision, which is the publisher of Call of Duty, they give they're the ones that are transporting the stage from city to city, and they ensure fair play between the teams, and they basically record and live stream all the events.
So I'm talking about CS:GO. Next slide. Yeah. Okay. So CS:GO stands for Counter-Strike Global Offensive. There are 2 teams in this game. There are the terrorists and the counter-terrorists. It's one of the biggest esports in the world. So the terrorists objective is to plant the bomb at 2 different bomb sites located on the opposite sides of the map. And during this, the counter terrorists have to try and stop them from planting the bomb. So it's really back and forth. And the either side can also win by eliminating the other team, which is by killing them with the guns that they buy at the start. So yeah, and it's the best out of 30 rounds. So whoever reaches 16 rounds wins first, wins the game. So there are a whole bunch of like really good teams, some of which are listed here in rankings. So we first have Nadas Vince here, which is a very famous team that's been pretty successful. They haven't won a lot of stuff, but they are still considered one of the best teams in the world right now. And then we have, oh wait, yeah, okay. And then we have Astralis, Gambit Esports, Virtus Pro, Team Liquid, and Team Vitality. So yeah, all of these teams are pretty big. Yeah, next slide. Alright, so some of the most famous players in CSGO are Simple, who's the most famous one and possibly the best in the game. He's an opper, so there are like roles in CSGO. There's one called an opper who uses a sniper rifle to fight people, and then there's also the wait, yeah, and there's different roles for everyone. So then the other two are Zawu and Kenny S.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Okay, hi, I'm Austin. I'm gonna present Smash Bros. Super Smash Bros. Is a Japanese series of crossover fighting video games published by Nintendo. The gameplay objective differs from traditional fighters in that the aim is to increase damage counters and knock opponents off the stage instead of depleting life bars. The original Super Smash Bros. Was released in 1999 for the Nintendo 64 and only featured 12 playable characters. The most current version is called Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and was released in 2018 for the Nintendo Switch, and it features 80 characters from different franchises. On the left, we have the original 8 from 1999, and on the right, we have the current version, which features these 80 characters. Okay, so it's a very competitive game. On the left, we have the earnings of the top 25 players from across the world. And the basic tournament rules are that it's a stock style. Each player gets 3 lives, and you win by taking out all 3 lives. It's a best out of 3, and it has a winner bracket and a loser bracket. And like any 1v1 tournament game, winners continue facing off one another until there's only one left. And that's it for Smash.
Alright, so I'm going to be talking about Brawl Stars. So it's a fast 3v3 or battle royale game for mobile devices that can be played on the computer. So there are multiple game modes. Some include Jump Grab and Ball Ball. And there are also different characters which are called brawlers, such as the one pictured below. So competitive play. So how to qualify? The first competition is called the Championship Challenge, and anyone can take part in this. You have to win 15 games before losing 3 in order to qualify for the next one called the called the Weekend Tournament. And the top 8 teams from each region will qualify for the World Finals, in which the top 16 teams will compete for the championship.
Minecraft. Minecraft is an adventure game where players can explore the infinitely generated world, craft items, build houses, and fight mobs. Minecraft can be played single player or multiplayer. There are two main game modes, survival and creative. In survival mode, you have to acquire items to survive, and in creative mode, you have infinite resources, so you can build houses and craft items. Minecraft speedrunning is when players compete to see who can complete doing something in the game fastest. There are many categories of speedrunning, but the most popular one is to beat the game. To beat the game, players have to kill the Ender Dragon located in the end. To make the portal to the end and kill the dragon, players first have to acquire many different items. Speedruns are extremely popular in Minecraft, and a lot of people like to watch them. These are the current world records for speedrunning in Minecraft patch 1.6 and beyond. Random seed and any percent without glitches. The world record for this is at 12 minutes and 9 seconds.
Oh, Overwatch. Overwatch esports history. Overwatch is not developed with any dedication towards esports, focusing on building a great competitive game first and foremost, according to Morhaime, though they recognize that the game has potential as an esports game. Through internal testing, although Blizzard has success is committed to esports of the development of StarCraft 2, they had found that it's dangerous to be overly committed to esports too early in the lifespan of the game. According to Kaplan, instead of seeing how the community developed this over time as they saw from Hearthstone. Kaplan stated that while esports was not designed goal, they included and planned for features for the game to support the competitive community. Overwatch League. At the 2016 BlizzCon, Blizzard announced their plans for the Overwatch League, using an organization of permanent teams and league placements similar to more traditional North American professional sports leagues. Rather than use of promotion and relegation used in series like League of Legends Championship Series, Blizzard sought potential team owners, including New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft and Los Angeles Rams owner Stan Kroenke, and by November 2017 has established 12 franchises around the world with plans to expand further in the later season. Contracted players on these franchises are guaranteed a minimum salary benefit and revenue share. The first season of the league started in January 2018 with teams vying for a US $1 million league winner prize, alongside other winners from a total prize pool of US $3.5 million. The second season brought in an additional 8 franchises for a total of 20. In the first and second season, nearly all games outside the finals were played at Blizzard Arena in Burbank, California, while the third season will see teams traveling between homestead events across the globe as in more traditional league structures.
Rocket League. Rocket League is a soccer-based video game and is often referred to as soccer with cars. Players control a rocket-powered car to hit a ball that is much larger than the cars towards the other goals to score points. Matches are typically 5 minutes long with a sudden death overtime if the game is tied at that point. Each year, Rocket League culminates in the Rocket League Championship Series. The best teams from North America, Europe, and South America compete for over $1 million and a shot at becoming world champions.